that was the tipping point, and then I finally could. There's probably
Right.
a good 6 months to a year there where I probably felt like everything else was definitely true,
Right.
but I couldn't get over
Right.
the Eucharist, so I couldn't become Catholic. But
that
then
was the last one.
But that was the last one. But then once I realized the Eucharist was true, then
Right.
I could not delay that call in my life.
Right.
Delaying God became denying him, and I knew then that I needed to become Catholic,
Right.
because if I believed that, the Catholic Church is the only place that truly offers that.
Yes.
And so I couldn't be
Right.
anywhere else. And
Yes.
so then, a few months later is when I entered RCIA.
Yes. The Lord, to whom shall we go?
Mm-hmm.
You have the words of everlasting life.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's another good thought, just that at that point, you had reached the point where to delay obedience any longer, although it was going to be difficult, and you had to have some difficult conversations, and you knew in a certain sense there would be this division with your family, even, which is tough.
Yeah.
That you had to, because you felt like the Lord had actually was calling you to that, and so you had to be obedient.
Yeah, so I often compare my testimony when I've given my testimony, especially just about my conversion to Catholicism, in comparison to the walk to Emmaus, the road to Emmaus. If you know that story, you know the disciples are walking with Jesus, and yet they are blinded
from
to him.
Jerusalem to Emmaus.
Yeah. And yet they're blinded from fully seeing him. They're talking with him like I talked with God all the time. They're opening the scriptures with him like I did all the time. It really, I just read this and I just see my story. And it wasn't until the breaking of the bread at the Eucharistic feast that is when their eyes were opened to him. And that's how I feel. That is really where I truly and more fully know God, is now by being Catholic and believing in the Eucharist and just understanding that as truth for me. But it really was Brent Petrie's book, Jesus and the Jewish Roots of the Eucharist, that helped me to see that.
Yes.
That was a big one, along with those 3 different encounters I had, which were over the course of years,
Right.
But that book, coupled with that last, final experience with the Lord, really is like what opened my eyes to him.